things that I have noticed through the 7 days, and if you guys haven't watched all 7 days, I really, really, I don't know what it would be like if you watched them in a row. They're almost an hour. Some are over an hour. So seven. You talk about Netflixing me, right? But what I've noticed every day that I have done these, there has been an activation in my body and being, this presence, this increased awareness, this expanded state. I have almost felt like I've been in, like, for hours, and like last night, or yesterday, I was in this expanded state like all day, all day. And I feel like my power is increasing. My potency is increasing with every one of these. And I'm wondering how it is for you, because I'm bringing you the experiment, like, as I'm doing it. Like, it's not like I come in with this agenda. Like, I am like in it, and I'm speaking what's coming to me. And again, I think I said, like, one of the precursors to magic is you just show up. You just show up with the desire, the intention, to be magic, to give magic, to be present with whatever can come through and whatever is possible in any given moment. You know, whether I'm doing a live or walking down the street or what have you. Like, it really requires that I'm here, I'm showing up, I'm willing to have no agenda and no plan, so that there's an open space, because oftentimes in agendas there's not room for magic, right? And that doesn't mean that outlines aren't useful from time to time. I do sometimes have outlines. I hardly ever follow them, but I do have them from time to time. Create a box set. Ooh, say more about that, Becky. Say more about that. I just watched yesterday's video and you had the same hat on. Yes, I know. That's why I wasn't going to wear it today, for Pete's sakes. Okay, Margaret says, a double promise reveals its inner and outer meanings. Reveals its inner and outer meanings. Okay, yeah, there's more than that. The window thing. I want the window thing. Woo woo! I love everybody come to play. Brittany, I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Nicole. It's so fun to have you back in my space too. Please give me more information on box sets. Sophie, you have been like rocking it. I think you've been live on every one of them. Mary, nice hat. This is the traveling hat. Mary lent this to me, I don't know how long ago, and it just became mine. It's very magic. So it's actually really appropriate for these lives. Willing to have no agenda, no plan. Yeep. That is box set, so we can binge watch you. I know. I'm actually, the first step for these is I'm having my technical wizard edit them, and I'm going to put them on YouTube, all 7 of them, like, kind of together. And it may be a book. And also, I might be doing a thing where I actually show the video, and then I do commentary on my own video about what's happening in the experiment and where that experiment went. Hi, Laura. Hi. So I've got some ideas, people, because this was off the hook. Like, it turned me on and up. I've been so much more expanded, so much happier, so much more creative. I'm so much more aware of my body alchemy. Like, there's been some cool shit opening up in me. So how has it been for you? Interdimensional travel hat. Yes, yay. So Margaret's talking about the double promise. The Sabian symbol is, this is the Sabian symbol for today, March 13th or April 13th. What decade am I in? Okay. Double promise reveals its inner and outer meanings. Okay. Oh yeah, this is what you put on my thing earlier. The universal idea is best expressed through planets. It's crucial to envision what we hope to experience. We can only ever attract life situations in keeping with our expectations, in accordance with what we deeply believe. Therefore, optimism has to be a constant discipline practice. The exaltation, which is faith, living in faith in revelation. So back to the apocalypse means to reveal. It's a revelation, which means to reveal, to uncover, and to unhide. So what are we uncovering and unhiding? I think it's magic right now. If you want it to be, you could be just in the closet looking at your shit, or you could go, ooh, what magic is lurking in there in all of these energies and feelings that are going on in my world, living in faith and revelation. I love that. We learn to live differently, head in the clouds. This day is for me, because I live with my head in the clouds and my feet on the earth. That is a Sufi thing. I love the Sufis. I could probably, if I wasn't being the whack ass that I am, I'd probably be a Sufi. What Sufi describes as being in the world, not of the world. The possibility for man to gain experience at two levels. Double promise. Yes. The ability, the spiritual gift. Beautiful. I'm not going to go into the whole thing because I want to extrapolate a little bit, because I felt like one of the things, I'm going to be a little bit more practical. I've been way off the chain, out in the ethers a little bit on this series, but I always try to bring it back to, so how does that make my life better? I really, really love learning about quantum physics and how the universe works and how to play with the molecules and all of that, right? I love that stuff. I just get turned on by it. But for me, it's so how does that make my life different? How can I make my life better with that? How can I expand that and make that real in my life? Not just oh, I know we can fly. I know we can transmute. I know we can all do all these things. I know all of that. No, I want to fucking do it. So I've made it my life's mission to take the esoteric and bring it into, well, what does that look like day to day? How do I expand into that and have those mystical experiences every day? What about that? What if you could access the mystical every day? What if that could be your new normal? What if the mystical could be your new normal? Now there's a question you could be asking yourself, right? What if the mystical could be your new normal? How fun would that be? My God. It looks like I've spent 10 years with you, all the awareness you allow me to be. Right on, Sophie. Bonjour. You're one of my peeps, Sophs. I love that. No muggles allowed. This is the magic place. Yeah. I don't think muggles could even find this. Oh my God. Or they would leave in about 2 seconds. Captain Magic Pants. Yes, I love the magic pants today. I love the ethers. I know you do, Brittany. You're one of those amazing explorers, right, of consciousness, and stretching it all the different ways that you can. Ooh, yes, I love the ethers too, and I like to hang out there, and then I like to take all of it, bring it in and go, whew, how could that be my life? How could that be? How can I embody that, right? Let's fucking do it. What do you want to do, Marion? Tell me. Girl gets turned on by quantum physics and playing with molecules, laughing out loud right there. Yeah, love me some quantum physics. Yes, 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 love it. What if the mystical could be, yep, thank you. The mystical's the new normal. This is how I feel about that. I love your happy faces. They're like, so what would it take for us all to have a mystical experience today during this live? I don't know. Maybe some of you have already tapped it. I don't know. So one of the things that I want to talk about, because I do feel like it takes us out of our normal maps, in our normal sort of constructs. And if this is your first time looking at this series, that's how we're looking at the mystical. It's when you kind of leave time and space and you hit a place that is more real and more true than the constructs of this third dimension. Okay. And that in that place we access our power, our infinite self, our abilities that are beyond time and space. And we can actualize those abilities. It's like becoming lucid in a dream. We become lucid amongst the stuff that's all around us, right? We become conscious, so to speak. We awaken to what is possible. And so one of the things that comes to me about that Sabian symbol, Margaret, and it's because it says that just because we're focusing on the positive or what the possibility, I would say what the possibilities are, without denying something or pretending like, oh, I'm fine, I'm not scared, and I'm happy, that's not what we're talking about. That will get you in a shithole faster than about anything. But to actually hone the capacity, your alchemical capacity, to change your attention at will. To change your attention, because that is, so I'm also loosely defining alchemy as the ability to change something from one thing to another thing, to change or transform, or to create something from nothing, to create something, well, it's not ever really from nothing, but it's from the seemingly nothing, to create something from seemingly nothing, right? So that the power to transform anything, and I'm going to quote one of my mentors, Katie Hendricks here, is the ability to change your attention at will. Okay, this is the one thing that I've seen in every body of work I've ever delved into, that I've ever jumped into, ever. Psychology, and it's freaking true. I see it in my own life. I see it in my client's life. What you focus on expands, because our attention is consciousness. Where you put your attention, you put consciousness, and wherever you put consciousness, you grow it. So if you're focusing on what's wrong and what might happen tomorrow and all of that, then you're actually creating that right here, right now. You're making it real. Even if it doesn't really happen, you're making it real right now, right? And so we create through our conscious intention and attention. It's like, and to me, conscious creation is where our intention meets our attention. It's this sort of bridge of, and that's like this powerful place, is that when I can intentionally put my attention on that which I would like to create, and it's not necessarily specific, okay? It might be energetic. It might be just somebody shows you something and it's like, that. And it's your ability to focus your energy on that energy and everything that matches that energy, so that you can actually bring that into your reality. Okay. So when you descend to the collective fears and the collective trauma drama, or maybe what's happening in your family or what's happening with your friends, or not even doesn't necessarily be the collective, you literally start creating from the lower vibration. You start creating from your fear. You start creating from your anger or resentment or worry or whatever that is. You start creating from that place. And then that becomes what you're creating. So if you can actually focus on, give your attention to the possibilities for what you really desire to actualize as your life, to bring into being here in this time and space. If you can actually focus on that, regardless of the crazies out there, you will start to materialize that into being. And what Margaret's saying is that because that's the symbol for today, it's an extra, it can bring extra power if you can sort of focus on that higher frequency and that higher possibility, and focus on bringing that in. And it is not a fake it till you make it kind of deal. It's really saying, really owning who you are as a creator, and saying, of all the things that I can create in the field of magic today, of all the things that I might create in the field of magic today, I would like to choose that. That's where I'm going to focus on the possibilities. I'm going to focus on, where are the new possibilities? Where is money flowing now? Where is my contribution going to, my greatest contribution going to meet the greatest profit? I did that question a few days ago, and I've been like, oh damn, that was good. I've been playing with that question. I don't know if you guys have that been listening to the series, but that's been one of my favorite questions that's come out of the series. And so as an alchemist, right, we have to be aware that we're creating with our energy always. And so what are you doing to create and generate your energy in such a way that your attention can be on that which you're actually appearing in your world? You're making real in your world, right? And so that's not fake it till you make it. That's not like anything other than being a conscious creator. It's like, yeah, I am aware of all of these things. Like, I am aware of this man that's in need in Liberia, and I'm contributing to him, right? I am aware of like what's happening out there, and I'm still asking, where is my contribution? What is it that I'd like to create, and what future do I want? And like, where are the flows of energy that are going to create that? And I'm telling you, it is a muscle to develop that ability to focus on that which you are alchemizing into being, because your alchemy, remember, it's your conscious attention that brings life to a thing. So do you want to bring life to your fears, or because you can, well, like that, or do you want to bring life to your possibilities? And it's about, really, as a magician, as an alchemist, it's really about knowing what to do with that. Now, that's not to say you don't sometimes feel rage and fearful and blah, 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 right? You know, and whatever you call those feelings, I've talked about that too. I call them bits of information, because if the less I identify with that, the better I can use that energy for something else, because energy is all energy until I put a point of view on it. So, right, it's like I can see a situation as, oh no, or oh goody. Right? There's a story that I learned in sales a long time ago about a guy that goes to this sales guy is sent to this third world country, two of them, to determine what the possibilities of moving this shoe company into this area. The first guy calls and says, "I'm sorry, nobody's wearing shoes here. There's like we can't come into here." Right? We can't come into this market. The other guy calls this manager and says, "Oh my God, good news. Nobody's wearing shoes. We're going to kill it here because everybody needs shoes," And so it's really about taking what's occurring and choosing to moving the molecule into the possibility. So this is what we do with our intention. We turn molecules, we move molecules with our attention, okay? Yes, with our question, but also with our attention, okay? So it's great if you ask a bunch of questions or do affirmations or whatever you do, but if you do not give your attention consistently to those things and to that movement, it's going to feel like it's taking forever, or it's not working, or whatever. So it's like with our attention, we move those molecules and in a particular way. So like, let's say that you move your, so here's the molecule, right? It's a big ass molecule. It's the biggest molecule I ever did see. I'm just at this quarantine thing. I have to make myself laugh. So I don't know if it's funny to anybody else or if I've been in quarantine too long. I really don't know, but you guys will tell me. So, and if I see that energy or what's happening, the event, if I go, oh no, tragedy, horrible, then I turn that in such a way as to create less possibilities, to create more density in those molecules, and therefore less space and less energy to do anything with it besides I define it in this particular way, and then it goes clunk in my reality. And that's so much of our shit that we get stuck in is these chunks of clunk that we have created by putting our negative attention, our negative conclusion on a thing. And then it goes boom. Here's the thing, the quantum world and how we create, which is based on our attention on the quantum, is still in action, even during Corona, boys and girls. Did you know that? The rules of the universe did not change in Corona. How creation works is still how creation works. Hello? So if you go, okay, cool, that's possible. Like the sales guys with the shoes, one guy turned the molecule this way and it was like, no cells, no cells, no cells. One guy turned the molecule this way and he goes, possibility, 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 right? So anything that's occurring in your life can be a Debbie Downer or it can be a possibility. Now, that's not to say that sometimes it's not when an event occurs that we don't go, that we don't might have bits of energy moving through us, and there may not sometimes, because the thing is that with bits of energy, what some people call emotion, and some people don't believe there's emotion, but actually my body still has those, so I get to kind of look at it in that particular framework for myself, is that how can I transmute, how can I use this energy? Because I know biologically, okay, in our brain, emotion is in the same center as like where our sort of creative energy flows and our sexual energy flows. And so we can actually, that's one of the best alchemist tricks we could pull off, is to take that lower density type energies, right, that we call negative feelings. But what if they're not negative feelings? What if it's just raw? What if it's just coal? You know, you can fuel your train by coal or by gasoline or by banana peels or whatever. It's just like, okay, what if you could take that energy and transmute it if you tend to be more of a feeler type person? And just to what advantage are you using whatever's occurring in your life? And I think a wizard knows how to use it all to their advantage. That's what a wizard is. It's like, I'm going to take whatever life is doing and I'm going to direct it in a way that it shows up in my advantage and for my advantage. And so when I'm actually focused on of the possibility of what can occur and what I want to bring forward into being, then I actually can move things in my favor. Now, we don't really have too much of a choice on timing of these little situations, right? But we can begin to plant the seeds and turn the molecules in our favor and in our direction over time. So I'm going to, I've for a moment, and I'm going to come back because I've been going on with my bad self and see what's happening in your world. Okay, let's see. Boom, grounding. I want to do all the things. Okay, this is my turned on face too. Good to know. I love bringing the mystical into reality, whatever that is. Expectation of goodness. I love that. Yeah, it's like, what if we're always on the way to a miracle? What if we're like, I actually did a little mini program once about, I was going to do t-shirts for it. I was like, what if everything was going in my favor? But this is what thank you for saying that, because actually I really believe that the universe is always working towards our advantage. It is always trying to, because the universe is always evolving, it's always growing, it's always expanding, and so it wants its constituents to be part of that. And so it's always moving us in the direction of more and greater and more and greater. And so if we can start seeing everything that's occurring as sort of the universal nudges, as opposed to, I can't believe this is happening to me, to like go, okay, cool, how can the universe is working in my favor. How can I work in my favor? Because the universe is always moving us in the direction of a greater future. And so if we would allow the universe to have our back in this, alchemical experience called life, then we can use that energy to our favor. But we can actually sort of twist up the energy, because the universe is, and our higher consciousness, our infinite being, the consciousness of our being, are like trying to move us forward. And it knows that certain situations that the human brain might not like are actually the fastest the fastest distance between 2 points. So I don't know if you guys, but when the glaciers start melting, or the ice starts melting on the top of the mountain, the water always will find the shortest distance to the ground, right? So instead of going around stuff, water will go down off a cliff, because that's the fastest distance. So a lot of us conscious folk have we've chosen some leaps, we've chosen some cliffs, and the rest of the world looks at us and go, what the hell are you doing? We'll put ourselves into situations that are maybe for the outside world looks hard, but for an alchemist, it's going into the grist and turning and changing and transforming something. It's like, some of you can probably relate. You've had experiences that you learned 10 years worth of shit in like that amount of time. Like an alchemist will do that. We'll pop into some kind of thing that will help get us moving. It'll spin us forward in a particular way. But it's like we have to remember not to work against ourselves. We have to remember to work in harmony with the universe, in concert with the universe, and go, okay, cool. How is this for my benefit? It's always working for your benefit. Always, 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 always. Never, never, never is not. Einstein said it's the only theory of his he could ever prove is that there was a friendly universe. It's the only theory he said he knew absolutely was true, is that it's a friendly universe and it's always working for our benefit. So if that is true, and I love Einstein and it feels true to me, if that's true, then how about if I get on board with that too? How about you get on board with that? What if nothing is happening against you ever, and everywhere you bought that so that you can fight with yourself instead of like actually be surfing the chaos of the universe? Poof that away. Like pock that shit. Uncreate and destroy. Blink it out. Tap it out. Whatever you do it out. Do it out. Do it out. And what if, right? What if like you could really, really jump into the mystery, jump into the mystical, and live your life from that place? And to me, focusing on the possibilities right now, when everybody's focusing on, the horrors and the bad things and blah, 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 right? And it's not to say that there aren't moments that catch us. And there's definitely, I've been caught in these moments of this reality. But it's so interesting because my consciousness, my awakening is happening. It's speeding up. And so when I get caught by this reality, it's like it's so much more intense, because when I'm in me, I'm like the wizard is coming out, right? When I'm in me, and when I get caught in that like chunky junk, when I get caught in the chunky junk, I like that term. Hashtag chunky junk. I go, it is like somebody's taking me by the lip and like pulling me out, right? So I think it's even more important for the alchemists to be energetically changing and molecularly playing with the possibilities and not with our fears, because wherever we're focused, it's going to happen fast. And so for me, it's really about like doing all the things that I do to keep my energy, my vibration high and in me, so that I'm less seduced by all that. Because we get seduced. We stop and we look at the train wrecks, right? So that I can continue to create the future that I know is possible. Do you know a little secret that I've noticed recently for those of you outliers that play in all of this energy I'm talking about? Have you noticed there's so few people playing there? Because there's so much of the world has like been taken out. Their consciousness is somewhere else. They're not looking at the possibilities. They're looking at damage control or whatever they're looking at, right? And so for some of us, it's like, it's almost like I go into that magical field, that field of magic that I've been talking about, and I go, whoa, there are all these possibilities, and not very many people are playing in them. So, I think I'll have that one. I think I'll have that one. I think I'll have that one. Pick Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled possibilities from the field of magic, and pick the possibilities, right? There is so much energy that we can play with right now if we actually go into the quantum field beyond what some would call the third dimension or this reality. Like if you start tapping these other realities, and a lot of people feel like we're moving into the fifth dimension. To me, this is all just trying to define the undefinable. Who knows what the dimension hell is we're going to go to. But what I do know is that there's something beyond where we've been living and playing that is now available, has been available. Actually, a lot of people have been tapping that place for years. But it's available in a new way and with less static than ever before. And so this is a time of tremendous possibility, but we've got to develop that alchemical wand to be able to be transmuting and bringing our awareness and our attention to the possibilities and not to the chunky, what did I call it? The chunky, I don't even know. Funky chunks. I don't know. Let's see. Did you make this a series for me? Probably. Yeah, I probably did. Because you know you can make me do stuff with your thoughts, Brenny. That doesn't sound very empowering, but you have power. Okay. Oh, the broom's been out for months, getting ready to take you all out for a spin. I can't even wait. Yeah, Claudia, Laura, hi. Paul Grace. I have not seen you forever. I did magic with Paul Grace many years ago. Who wants to know about that if Paul's still on? He's someone I had a magic moment with, or I call it a magic marker with. Doug Miller says, hello, so awesome. Okay, the molecules are not canceled, ladies. They're not. The universe is, the principles of creation are in play. In play. Okay, so Paul, if you're still on this, I'm going to tell on you. Okay, awesome. Universe yeah. You facilitate out of the so-called dark rather than towards a directed light. And Becky, what if you could do both? What if you could actually facilitate out of the dark into the light? And maybe that's what you mean. Hi, thank you for these lives, gifts. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, Rosie. Thank you. I'm having so much fun doing them. The universe already is operating in our favor. Yes, yes, yes. What is it if the dark isn't the dark? Says the dark queen, says the dark mage. Online baking is now part of my friendly universe. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Chunky junk. Thank you for getting that. Peter Piper picked a pack of pop from the mansion. Yes. Pick a Gregory Ashby. I really like your sense of humor. Thank you. I am a silly. Meet me in the corner where space meets time and all things possible. Yeah, that's part of, that's very remnant of a Rumi quote that says, there is a field where beyond right and wrong, a field of possibilities beyond right and wrong, I will meet you there. And I love that. Even when we might feel pickled, exactly, less static, so happy about that. Yes, there's less static, and yes, and how is online banking working in your favor right now? Do you know that there's all these people that got these chunks of $20,000 in their account, and I can't remember, it was for Medicaid or Medicare, which is usually the slowest loans ever, and they process them the fastest. And one area was down, but the other one was up. So it's kind of interesting. And at the very least, you guys, we can ask questions when stuff like that goes down. Like, like, how can I use this to my advantage? How is this the universe working for my benefit? What's right about this? How, what advantage is this giving me? Those kinds of questions can help us turn the molecules just enough so we can see the intelligence and the possibility that exists within that molecule. I love that you get to, it's different when you're working. I do not let it stop me when I know about it. Oh, thank you. Cool, Laura. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So do you guys want to hear about my magic event with that fine young man who just popped in for a minute? I can't, your messages don't come up for a few seconds after I ask. So I'm going to tell you anyway. So, I met him at this week-long retreat called The Awakening, which was all about uncovering all your chunky junks to have a physical experience of your magic. So Paul Grace, when I first went to The Awakening, he was what they called a breakthrough leader. And it's a facilitation where we each individual went through our black hole, so to speak, into the light. So we went through the worst thing to get to the best thing. I learned a long time ago the worst thing could be the best thing. So, but as it turned out, like my first awakening that I was staffing, there was a huge snowstorm and the breakthrough leaders couldn't come up. And so the facilitator, his name is, what is his name? Oh no, Gary Acevedo. Yes, I was getting confused because Gary Douglas is the leader of Access. And anyways, he said, "You're on," because he knew I'd done some facilitating and was facilitating Rapid Eye. And I'm like, I don't know nothing about birthing no babies, because we were birthing babies. And it's a very extensive, intensive process that takes about anywhere from an hour and a half to maybe some of the longer ones went 3 hours plus, right? And I was like, I had learned in Rapid Eye that we could transfer information between our eyes. And so I was like, ooh, I wonder if I could get somebody who already knows how to do these breakthroughs to transfer the information instantly, to download it to me, essentially. And dude, this was like, I'm going to say like 23 years ago-ish. This is also the awakening the time that I was telling you where I lived actually in light, that I had the Midas touch. And so I was pretty lit up, and I looked around. There was a few breakthrough leaders up there, but not enough to really handle the amount of participants. And so I went to who was the one I really loved how he facilitated the breakthroughs, and it was so much gentler than some of the other ones are doing. He had hypnosis training and some other things like that. And I asked him, and I was very brave because I thought he's going to think I'm a wingnut. But that was okay because most people knew I was a wingnut. And I said, would you be willing to download, like you didn't even have to know how, because I didn't really know how. I pretended like I knew how, but I didn't really know how. I said, would you be willing to download what you know? Would you be willing to make that information available to me for how to facilitate these? Because I was about to do a breakthrough in 15 minutes. And I'd never done one before, and I'd only seen a few done and like that. So he said, okay, well, you're a weird child. He didn't even really know me. It's like, okay. He says, well, what do I do? And I said, just put your hands like this. Left palm up, right palm down, because that's a part of the process in Rapid Eye where I help the brain sync up so that it can actually process at a deeper level. And I said, okay. And I said, just look at my left eye and make that file available to Megan. And I will ask my body to receive that. And we just looked in each other's eyes uncomfortably for like 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Remember when I said, like, really, really one of the most potent things you have as an alchemist is to show the fuck up and to say yes, and say yes when you don't think you can do it. Show the fuck up, say yes. You will figure it out. I promise. And that's actually what creates the confidence to keep doing this stuff. People tend to wait for confidence. That doesn't happen. Confidence comes from like jumping in and doing it and figuring out you are better and you know more than you thought. So that's what I was doing. And I felt something. I didn't know what it was, and I did my breakthrough, and I didn't I didn't think anything. It went really smoothly though. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I think I did a second one, and he actually got done with his and was observing mine. And he shared with me after several techniques that I did that were specific techniques of his, that is not something he talks about or that you could actually linear get. It's just like from his training and little tools. And I didn't even know I was doing them. And so I was like, oh, wow. Like, so it's always been really fascinating to me of like, how can we learn faster? How can we get information faster? How can we create faster, right? And it was such a magical experience for me, that I played a lot with that, with different teachers of like, okay, what could I learn? How fast could I learn what I need to learn here? And then, and that's true with downloading information from a tree or what have you, right? We can learn so much faster than I think we've ever even given ourselves credit for. Let's see. I want to see what you guys are talking about. Okay. Oh, Sophie, I spent more than half of my life to destroy myself, so now I am more than ready to be conscious and be the possibilities of magic. Yes. Haha. What if dark is a big fat lie? Beautiful, Marion. Love it. And it would be cool to play in the directed as well as the surrendered light. Yes, yes, yes. Laura, I love that. I get to live. Okay. Intelligence is every scenario. Information. Yes. Wish I was there. Oh, at that awakening. Yes, I was space at that awakening, which is kind of an interesting big ass role for somebody who didn't know what the hell they were doing. The awakening was so fun. I still have residual trauma. I would come to Megan's event instead. Live your magic 2020 will be epic. Yes. I learned how to create that level of transformation without the drama. Yay me! But that took me a few years, but I started to make it work. You could do this with us now. I am doing that. Okay, what do you want, Becky? What do you want? What do you want to download? I will. So for anybody, cool. That's an awesome invitation, Becky. So I'll bring my barriers down. And any of you that would like to play with downloading whatever that you're seeking, energetically or intelligently or from whatever, from the universe, that you feel like this I might be a good bridge for, because you guys can get it directly from the universe too. And what's true is that how we embody these things is relevant, because you can know a universal truth and not know how to live it or not how to bring it into practice. Like a lot of us know that the universe is abundant, but we don't quite know how to live it fully yet. And that's where other people and teachers and facilitators come in, because we can learn different ways to apply what we know and what we can tap that we know. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you guys want, here you go. And if you guys have not seen the video I did, I think it might have been Saturday. I think it was number 5 or 6. Today's 7, so it'd be 5. And I did molecular infusion. So I actually gifted you some big energy in that. But okay, I'll just, whatever. So it's not like, yeah. This is fun. I can feel all y'all. Yep. So I'm just going to turn it up. Okay. So have this thought. If you want to know how to apply it, I have some upcoming programs you can come play in. Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of which, if you want to do more with me, because I'm always coming up with stuff. People today were like, you're everywhere. Like I am kind of everywhere. But you can go to megansilito.com, sign up for my newsletter. There's some really cool freebies in that. There's actually a magic training that you can go through, Magic 101. And also my possibility play, where I do like provocative questions and challenges. That's free. I have, if you go to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com, my partner and I, Suzanne, we have like 200 shows in there on all kind of different topics. But if you're on my email list, then you'll know of the next thing that I'm creating and coming down the pipe if you want to come play more. Okay. Thank you for that invitation, though, Becky. I hope you guys were able to grab some of that. Yeah, but watch downloading from Mix because you might what? Flight and stuff. Is it what? Because you might miss your flight and stuff. Well, not very many people are flying right now, so yeah. Hopefully, you don't drive. If you download from me, don't drive. Don't do it. Or wait, we stopped to look at the train wrecks. Is that what you said? Yes, we do. Show the fuck up and say yes when you don't think you can do it. That's really right there, Victoria. Like this like being real. That is my secret sauce all the time. That's when I'm the most magic. That's when the most comes through. That's when the potency happens. It's not, oh, I feel very confident. Now I can show up. No, I show up, I fumble about, and I figure it out, and I get stronger, 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 stronger. You just do it. Okay. Maui. What happened in Maui that you're speaking to, Marianne? Claudia, your Gary story reminds me that I used to simply say through osmosis when I met someone and I saw something in them that I admired. Yes. Why did you stop doing that? You said used to. Keep doing it. Do it, do it, do it. Okay, make the file of all you know available to us now. I did. Okay, transmission eye to eye. Yes, that's one of the ways. That's what I knew back then. But I feel like our bodies can talk too. We could talk through energy. We talk through our consciousness. The eyes are simply where we take 90% of the information every day comes in through our eyes. And so that's why like the eyes are really relevant for this. And what I know now is that we're big walking transmissions, all of us. We're transmitting in and out all the time. There are easier ways, right, Mary? Yes. Yeah, I would say that, but some of the energetics of transformation I got in the awakening, and then I found an easier way to do that, which has kind of been my MO. That's kind of been my magic, is I go through something and I go, ooh, this is an energy. This is something that this moves things faster, right? But then there tends to be chunky junk in organizations of any kind. Anytime you try to organize, I mean, Christ was cool as shit. Okay, hopefully no one is offended by that. But what a cool dude. He's like an alchemist, right? And walking on water, turning water into wine, all that stuff, right? We talked about the resurrection yesterday. If you were on yesterday, that was a fun talk. And but then people tried to organize it into a religion, and then it didn't work as well anymore. So that's true. That what I have seen is that once you take something really dynamic and you try to put structure around it, it oftentimes loses some of the juice. And so I sort of like go in and as the pirate of consciousness I am, like go in and learn something that's within a structure. I learn an energy or I learn a technique or tool, and then I like, ooh, like how could I soup that up? How could I create more with that? And then it's kind of this whole big thing that I offer people, is I offer it without structure, you don't have to do the next 19 classes with me. You don't have to, like, you can learn with me outside of form and structure for the most part. So I do classes and I do all of that, but I'm not a body of work within myself, if that makes sense. Maybe that's too much information, but that's how I do it. You're so downloading my capacity to create community for starters. Yes, because I don't freaking know how that happens. It's just it's a space that I am that creates that. So people have come to me for years going, will you teach me how to create community? I'm like, no, I don't know how I do. Why don't you just come in the community and see? Okay. I sometimes also say 94% when I wish to tap the other 94% of my brain capacity. Ooh, tricky little Claudia, aren't you? You're a tricky witch. I love you. Oh my God, I'm so blessed in this alchemical moment. Yes, they ask and you shall receive. You don't like it easy, Mary. Well, that is funny. Yummy. Beautiful. Okay, Mary, Cat, Carly missed their plane. Oh yeah. Yeah, that happened. It was after Magic Makers, which is the leadership program that is the advanced Live Your Magic. Yeah, they did miss their plane. Joyful Playground, yes. Souped up, baby. Pirate of Consciousness, yes. I'm so glad. The 94%, how much fun could we have? I mean, this has just been so much fun. Okay, you guys. So, I don't know what happens after this because I was just led to do this and I don't know what this wants to be when it grows up. Maybe the box set, maybe whatever. And this could morph into a class. I kind of feel like it also might be a class, but please stay tuned. If you're interested in a continued conversation on this on alchemy, why don't you PM me and let me see what evolves, what morphs, what grows from that. Okay? Playing in the dark. Ooh, it does kind of look dark back here. Ooh. You love that shit. And I hardly have a structure of in my whole body. I don't. I don't know how much. I have very little structure, very just a little bit. Okay, so I want to thank you guys because this has been so fun for me, and it has turned me on and up, and I really. Yes, continued conversation desire. Perfect. Thank you, Becky. Duly noted. This has given me so much, and it's turned me on so much, so to speak. And I really invite you guys to listen again and to do the experiments like deeper. I talk about a lot of things and I extrapolate very quickly, so you'll probably hear new things in that conversation. Please share this with others. And if you bring me a group of 20 people that want to continue this conversation, I'll continue the conversation and we'll do it in class style, Zoom style, whatever is going on. We can play with this because this is one of my very favorite things.